when I was very young. I knew I was here for a reason. I didn't know what that reason was, but you might say God really had my attention from the time I was probably 10. And in doing a lot of personal growth work, both in therapy, but also a personal mastery program called Avatar, I gained some ability, some knowledge about how to live deliberately, create a blueprint for my life. That's their language, and taught that for a while, or guided others really in finding their own blueprint. And when I turned 50, I had kind of a turning point experience. I was a corporate consultant and trainer, an executive coach. And I was working with a semiconductor company for years, both in Japan and in Silicon Valley in Santa Clara. And I had been working with some teams, intact teams, and their managers on sort of performance enhancement from the human aspect and team building aspect. And I hugged one of the employees who happened to be a probably 35-ish single mom. And the HR director for that group, very good person, apologized profusely and said I couldn't hug anybody. It was against policy, and it was done in a public place, blah, blah, blah. So that was like a major wake-up call that I was playing the wrong game. Or I honestly, the image that came to me was a Band-Aid. I was this little butterfly Band-Aid on this increasingly gaping wound. I was so unable to be as fully effective and authentic as I wanted to be in actually relieving what I now see as relieving suffering in the corporate environment. So I think that was the year I turned 50, and I decided for a whole bunch of reasons it was time to play a bigger game. So through a series of sort of mystical synchronicities, I ended up at John of God, which is a spiritual healing center outside. Libby, are you shaking your head? Yes. And Barbara, you know about John of God. And it was actually kind of miraculous that I ended up there not once, but twice, right before 9/11. And the message for me actually came in meditation from Mother Teresa. I can still feel this, her presence, the presence of her consciousness on my right shoulder as I tell the story. Every time I tell the story, that's so present. She basically said, you will found the global, at that time, fund for healing. You don't have to know what it is. You don't have to take a vow of poverty and follow my lifestyle, but follow my teachings. And if you say yes, basically you'll be led, you'll be guided. You don't have to know how to do this. So in that anything is possible spiritual environment where I'm completely surrounded by love and so much joy and healing, and really kind of leaning on each other for strength, anything seemed possible. And I mean, no was not an option. You don't say no to Mother Teresa, right?